Today we're going to be looking at fixed Magic the Gathering cards that are now borderline unplayable. Once upon a time there was Strip Mine, but then they found some bit of a balance with Wasteland, but found that Wasteland, that's probably a little too strong for the future of Magic. That's why they watered it down into Tectonic Edge, which also saw a lot of play, and I don't know why. Like, this one was not too bad by itself. Your opponent needs 4 lands in play, and you can sack this thing by paying 1 mana to destroy one of their non-basic lands. But you know what? We need to push the boundaries, and that's why they invented the Encroaching Wastes. This is it's a land that taps for a colorless, and then pay for 4 mana. Tap, sacrifice Encroaching Wastes, destroy target non-basic land. And I think that's it. That's as far as the science could go. And it's really funny. This is actually a Magic Online promo. I have no idea who plays this card online. I mean, this goes into basically literally no deck, period. So, Encroaching Wastes, that's as far as it goes. Okay, we got another one from Hexenort trying to figure out what this show is about. Remember, so this show is about, it starts with a broken card, but it got fixed into something that's just, or something that's really good, like a staple. A good staple, strong card, and then there was a fixed version in the future that was just garbage. Okay, we've got Soul Ring into Soul Talisman. I hate this as the default image for Soul Ring. It's so bad. Now there's just so many wacky, random, just give me a damn Soul Ring. Okay, Soul Ring, 1 mana artifact. Tap for 2 mana. Soul Talisman. You know, it's funny. There's so many people who are like, unban, get rid of the reserve list. This and that. Let me play with Black Lotus. This is better than Black Lotus. And you get to play with it. All right? You should be very happy that you get to play. You live in a world where you can play with Soul Ring. And in any deck. And it's completely acceptable to be playing it in, for example, in a casual deck. It could be 0 power, and Soul Ring would be considered socially acceptable in open arms. And then we got Soul Talisman. Okay, this was for the competitive players, because this card, it's banned in every single format, restricted in Vintage. Sorry, is it restricted in Vintage? Yeah, it's restricted in Vintage. So they gave us Soul Talisman. An artifact was to spend 3 for a 1. So we gotta wait. How long do we have to wait? 4 turns to get our Soul Ring? Well, it's not really much of mana ramp now, is it? It's a very, very fair card. It's so fair that now it is rendered completely unplayable. Gillum says, so if I understand, the concept is crappier cards. Yes. But it has to be, it's not just crappier cards. It's like a strictly worse version of something that already sees play. Kano, cancel for counter. You know what? That is true. So Counterspell was the OG, right? People maybe forget this was an alpha and beta with that weird guy. Where's the weird guy? With his fingers melting off. Once upon a time, tweet, counters target spell as it is being cast. As it is being cast, so it is moving onto the battlefield. But before it hits that battlefield, I'm going to counter it. And there beheld the most frustrating way to lose a game of Magic the Gathering, outside of being comboed off on turn 1, is through the counter spells. Oh yeah, they watered it down. Does it actually get worse than cancel? So when did they make cancel? When was the first cancel? They made it in Time? Was this Time Spiral? Yeah, this is Time Spiral block. I feel like we're going the opposite direction. How this is the future? This feels like super far into the past. This is before Counterspell got broken. Or I don't know, over time people forgot how to counterspell things properly. The counter magic is not one with the future. Welcome, Millmaster. Also, welcome, Balder. Welcome, Balder, to the stream. Love your latest upload on the main channel. Everyone subscribe to his main. Let's get to 100K, baby, to the moon. I can't think of any cards. So, well. Oh, well, in that case, we're still going to make this a donation. Thank you very much, Balder. Benjamin Berkeley. You know what? Restore Balance actually sees a lot of play. I'll put it on here anyway. So we got Balance. So Balance, of course. This one's broken. Each player chooses any number of lands they control equal to the number of lands you control by the player who controls the fewest and sacks the rest. Players discard cards and sack creatures the same way. I mean, you got no creatures in your deck, like whatever. It's a 2-mana board wipe. What do you care? Then they made Restore Balance. Now, Restore Balanced is balanced because it's way harder to play. The only way you can use this card is through a janky Cascade deck. So it was playing with, I don't think it was playing with Shardless Agent. What is it playing? Maybe it was using Violent Outburst at the time. So it was using like any Cascade cards. There's a blue-white one too, an enchantment that gives Exalted. I don't remember the name of it. So the idea is that you Violent Outburst into your Restore Balance. It's the only 0-mana card in your deck. And I believe it also used some artifacts as your lands. It was like a weird land that, like, when it enters the battlefield, you have to return a land back to your hand, but it's tapped for 2 mana or some crap like that. And this one, and this card, balance doesn't affect the artifacts, right? You you remove lands, you sack creatures and discard cards. Doesn't affect artifacts. So if you have lands that tap for mana, then you're A-okay. You're in really good style. Really good shape. Balancing Act was the first attempt. Balancing Act. Each sorcery... Oh, there we go. This is even more unplayable, because I've never even heard of it. So, 4-mana sorcery. Each player chooses a number of permanents they control equal to the number of permanents controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacks the rest. Each player discards cards. That's interesting. You just add 2 more mana to the card, and now all of a sudden it's worthless. So what you're telling me here is they actually tried to balance Balancing Act by making it a little better with Restore Balance. And I guess they did. They saw a little bit, it got a little bit of play. You know, there were some people, they had a little bit of fun with this thing. They tried. Mox Tantalite. Oh, Mox Tantal. Does anyone play this card? Anybody? Is there a single human being on the face? Oh, I guess there's somebody, because it's like $8. Suspend for 3. Add 1 mana of any color. Ah, it's the ultimate Mox. It's basically fixed Mox Opal. Definitely not Mox Opal power level, right? So once upon a time there was Mox Opal. And despite what people say, I thought it was broken. You know, artifact decks were destroying Modern, Krark Clan Ironworks, Lantern Control, Affinity, Urza decks. They ban Opal. Those decks don't do anything anymore. Especially since Krark Clan Ironworks got their main card banned. But that is like the linchpin to making artifact decks just go way over the top. It was just so dumb. So anyway, this card saw tons of play. This card sees probably very, very little play, only in the what's it called, in the in commander decks. I could see it in a commander deck. Why not? Okay, next up we got J Hogue. Thanks so much for your super chat. Lion's Eye Diamond and Diamond Lion. They went too far. Lion's Eye Diamond. Sack it. Discard your hand. Add 3 mana. And then we have Diamond Lion. There's someone in R&D was like, do you know what? Maybe we can upgrade this card. We can make it a creature. It can attack for 2. So literally, it's Grizzly Bear Plus. I mean, if nothing, this is a strictly better version of Grizzly Bear, right? Grizzly Bear, a green and 1 generic. This is just 2 generic. For a 2/2 creature, same damn thing. It's a cat instead of a bear. But it also has the activated ability. You can also discard your hand, sack Diamond Line, add 3 mana of any 1 color, but you activate only as an instant. Yeah, so strictly worse because it can die. It dies to removal. Wait, can I play this Lion's Eye Diamond? No, that Lion's Eye Diamond is literally a lion, and it dies to removal. Okay, let's take a look at David Sampson's. So you said Maze of Ith into Thematic Compass. This should be interesting because I don't think I've heard of Thematic Compass. Maze of Ith. You attack me? No, I untap you. You do nothing. Then we have the Thematic Compass. Ooh, it's a 2-mana artifact. Pay 3, tap. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library at the beginning of your end step. You control 7 or more lands. Oh, God. So it's going to turn into The Spires of Orazka. Yeah, it has the same ability. Untap target attacking creature an opponent controls and remove it from combat. That is such an absolute piece of garbage. Science went too far. Science went way, way, way too far, in my opinion. F-Civ. Precision Bolt. Let's add 2 mana to the cost. Also F it. Make it a sorcery. So it's a 3-mana sorcery. Why? So over Lightning Bolt, this is terrible. Like, even if it was 2 mana, deal 3 damage at sorcery speed, that's bad enough. That also just borderline would not see play. Well, okay, yeah, that is the worst Lightning Bolt I've ever seen in my life. Super, super worst. Millmaster, thank you very much for your super chat. We got Barbed Sextant into Chromatic Star, into Arkham's Astrolabe. You're going the other way around. So this is when this is power creep. We're talking about fixed cards the other way around. So you have like, yeah, they went from this card to Chromatic Star into Arkham's Astrolabe. Actually, Arkham's Astrolabe was a power creep version of another There's something else. There is another card exactly like Arkham's Astrolabe, but it doesn't draw a card. So that was its origin story. So they just like, okay, just give it a snow mana and ETB draw a card. But anyway, this is the opposite way around. They fixed into broken. That's the problem. They fixed into broken cards instead. Will Anderson, Inspiration, fixed Ancestral Recall, Inspiration. Let's take a look at what does Inspiration do? 4 mana, target player draws 2 cards. That doesn't feel right. I mean, technically you're right. Oh, it was from Visions. Yes, okay, well, we fix Ancestral Recall. Well, let's add 3 mana and then you draw 1 less card. Out of the similarities, though, very loose. Very, very, very loose. Oh, maybe this is a closer one. Quick Study. That is a good question. What is the fixed Ancestral Recall for Magic the Gathering? Quick Study. Where did that come? Well, that came from Wilds of Eldraine. No, this is more. Quick Study is like. No, Quick Study is a power creep version of Inspiration, basically. Mind Stone? No, I'm not thinking of Mind Stone. Solid State says Lupine Prototype. Lupine Prototype. What is this a fixed version? What is this a fixed version of? 2 mana, 5/5. Can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in hand. Was this like a fixed Tarmogoyf? You gotta let me know what a fixed version of it is. Okay, Toads has Maze of Ith into Mystifying Maze. Mystifying Maze. They tried to fix Maze of Ith several ways. Oh, okay. So tap, add a colorless to your mana pool, pay 4. Tap, exile target attacking creature an opponent controls at the beginning of the next end step. Return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. That is fixed. And it actually sees. Like, I guess it sees almost no play. They reprinted it last time in 2017. It's a 70-cent card. It's interesting. But you can't. So I guess the big downside is you can end up giving your opponent like ETBs by accident. And not to mention it's a whole 4 mana that you sink into this thing. It's not quite Maze of Ith, you know? The science went super, super far here. Okay, next, yeah, Ancestral Vision is definitely the closest version of fixing Ancestral Recall, but that card was fixed and still plenty playable. Same thing with Brainstorm, still. Ooh, some people would say Brainstorm is broken, Majra. Some people would say Brainstorm is broken. Those are all good cards. Arethusa. Lightning Bolt into Shock. Well, by today's standards, Shock is garbage, and Gut Shot is still a pretty damn good card. Okay, Fast Bond was reduced to Mana Bond, which I think sees 0 play. Okay, let's take Fast Bond into Mana Bond. Okay, Fast Bond. Well, Mana Bond sees some play, but I'll take the suggestion. Fast Bond, play any number of lands on each of your turns. Whenever you play a land, if it wasn't the first land you played this turn, Fast Bond deals 1 damage to you. And then we have Mana Bond for a green enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may reveal your hand and put all land cards from it onto the battlefield. If you do, discard your hand. Oh my goodness. I tell you what you do. You just play this in a deck that only plays lands. When lands attack, you can even fill your deck up with Mystifying Maze. Mystifying Maze online by turn 2. That's actually a combo here. Mana Bond turn 1. And then you go Mystifying Maze by turn 2. Already active. Never thought that would be possible. Okay, J Hogue. Bitter Blossom into Skrelv's Hive. It's very funny as I think both these cards are unplayable. So we have Bitter Blossom, which was really good at the time. Skrelv's Hive. I think a lot of people were hyped on this card. I think people are still pretty hyped on this card. There is just some sort of mystifying magic about getting a creature every single turn. Skrelv's Hive, 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. You get a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might. It's got Toxic 1 too, so you can kill your opponent with Infect. But the creature can't block, which makes the token borderline useless. It's got also has Corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink. Well, we got that going for us, then. It's a good thing. Ooh, welcome back to Cerise. I like seeing the morning crowd. It's such a different crowd around here. We got Symbol of Unsummoning. Is that like a new card? Oh, this is working the other way around. It's got to be... So Fading Hope came later. So Fading Hope is technically a power creep version. We need... The old version was good. The new version sucks. Return a target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. That is an interesting... Do you know what? They actually power crept this too. They made this instant speed later on. I know. I can't remember what the card is called, but they did make it instant speed. Atraxa into Colossal Dreadmaw. That does not count. Christopher Beeg. Brutal Force into Bull Rush. Did Brutal Force... Was Brutal Force any good in the first place? Oh, Brute... No, was it Brute Strength? Okay, I'm gonna see what Bull Rush is. There's no such thing as a card called Brutal Force. Bull Rush. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Brute Strength! Target creature gets +3/+1. He gains Trample until end of turn. You know, it's funny you bring this up because they started power creeping the crap out of this effect. Like Monstrous Rage, which is now a 1-mana +3/+3 gives Trample. Sorry, it's +2/+2. Or maybe it's +2/+1. No, +2/+0. Whatever. They like now these like buff spells are insane. They're absolutely insane. So I guess the card was bad. It got worse. And hold on, this is oh no, this came from Oath of the Gatewatch. Just trying to think the timeline here. Every single Magus. Oh, okay. Wait, give us one. Give us one. Give us one that we maybe never... Like, we all know Magus of the Moon, which, by the way, sees a lot of play. I like that. How about Magus of the Tabernacle? Magus of the Tabernacle. It's funny. This effect, super, super powerful and OP, but you put it on a creature, worthless. And it's not even a bad creature. It's a 2/6 for 4 mana. How often do you get 6 toughness for 4 mana? Like, very rarely. All creatures have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature unless you pay 1. Completely worthless. What's it? Let's just look at Magus of the... We have Magus of the Arena. I don't even know what all the Maguses do. Human Wizard, 5/5. Okay, it's not bad. It's like a Titan almost. Pay 3, tap target creature you control, and target creature of an opponent's choice they control. Those creatures fight each other. Is that Phyrexian Arena or something? Oh no, wait, there's a I think there's a land called Arena. Is that? Yeah, I think these are all land. Was these all lands? Arena. What's Arena? We need to. Oh yeah, it was this one. Okay. We have Magus of the Arena. So a card that was already bad, and now we have an even worse version of the card. Magus of the Bazaar. 2 mana, 0/1. Tap, draw 2 cards, then discard 3 cards. It's like Merfolk Looter on steroids, but still completely worthless. What else do we have? Never even heard of Magus of the Abyss. This is the first time for me, that's for sure. 4 mana for a 4/3 human wizard. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of their choice. It can't be regenerated. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature. I don't even know what this is a worse version of. Okay, let's take some more cards from chat. Is there a Magus of the Disc? Magus of the Disc. There is. Of the Navineral's Disc. 4 mana, 2/4. Enters the battlefield tap. It's literally the same thing. It's the same card. Pay 1, tap, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. The same card. It's just a creature. See, the other cards were actually changed and adjusted in some way. But maybe they could have made it 3 mana, you know? Castle Star Leveler. It's unplayable because you use it in self-mill. No. But what's the Leveler a worse version of? You got to give me a power crap version and then the crappier version. Frogmire Enforcer is strictly worse than Frogmite and Mirror Enforcer? Both at the same time? Frogmire Enforcer. Oh, wow. That's interesting. It's a 7 mana 4/4 affinity for artifacts. How is it strictly worse than both? Prototype. You may cast this spell with different mana cost and size. So hold on. Mirror Enforcer. Isn't this the same thing? Affinity for artifacts, 7 mana 4/4. How is this worse? Affinity for artifacts. It's the same card. No, this is disqualified. This is a power card. This is a strictly better version because you have more options. There's no difference. This is it's still the baseline thing. It's better than Mirror. How is it better? Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's better. Sorry. How is it worse? This is a show about the worst thing. Okay, now here is the example that actually inspired the show. Library of Alexandria. The land, tap it, draw a card if you have 7 cards in your hand. Then the Biblioplex. Which, you know, some people told me, they're like, hey, Nikachu, I play this card. All right? Because you get to look at the top card of your library, and if it's an instant or sorcery, you put in your hand. And it works if you have 7 or 0 cards in your hand. When 0 cards, that's good value. All right? You have nothing to lose. Bryce wants to claim Arena Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, well, just for the jokes. So here's the original version. Here's the OG Orcish Bowmasters, which, by the way, is terrorizing Modern. Used to terrorize Legacy. It's somehow it's not seeing a lot of play. Probably because there's no 1 toughness creatures left. But then we got Orcish Bowmasters on Arena. This is the fixed version. 2 mana 1/1 flash. No ETB anymore. And when an opponent draws a card, except for the one they draw in each of their draw steps, Orcish Bowmasters deals 1 damage to any target. Then amass Orcs 1. That's all they had to do, and now it's just strictly unplayable. Which I guess is a problem. They wanted the card to see play. But still, like, I don't know. You can have an Orc. You can come into... You know what? Maybe it wasn't bad if it was just deal 1 damage to an opponent and you get the Orc. I think that would have been fine, too. That probably would have still seen a lot of play. It just wouldn't be as nearly as oppressive as the original Orc. Like 2 mana, put 2 bodies on the battlefield. I think that's great design. It's the sniping thing that I had a problem with. I didn't like the sniping thing, no good. Oh, sorry. Godzilla-sized fireballs. Thanks so much for your super chat. Nico Bolas, the couch potato, into the target? What? Nico Bolas, couch. Is this, oops. Nicol Bolas couch. The couch potato? Oh, you're talking about, okay, hold on. The right, you're talking about the OG. Can't even get the OG art here. The couch potato. It's not a couch, it's a chair. And guess what? It's learning things. Into the target? I don't know what the other one is. But anyway, yeah, they power over time. Nicol Bolas got stronger, probably for a similar or even better mana cost. By the way, Bowmaster's power crept Chains of Mephistopheles. No. How about the infamous Demonic Tutor into Diabolic Tutor? Diabolic Tutor. Just 4 mana, put a card in your hand. I bet people still play this though. I bet that's why they keep reprinting. It's on the list too. But it's a good thing to be on the list. Was there a Magus of the Wheel? I think my friend plays this card though. 3 mana, 3/3. Pay 2 mana, tap, sack it. Oh, you have to sack it? The other Maguses don't have to be sacked, except the Navinral's Disc. Each player draws their hand, then discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Oh yeah, if you could do this every turn, you could probably deck your opponents. Yeah, so you probably have to sacrifice this card. Imperial Seal. Ooh, I like that one. Imperial Seal into Scheming Symmetry. Thanks so much, Nathaniel. Okay, so Imperial Seal. Search your library for a card, shuffle it, put that card on top, you lose 2 life. So do you know what? How about both of us can play this game? Black Sorcery, choose 2 target players. I'm going to choose one of them to be myself. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. So one-on-one, it's a downside. If it's a 4-way game, maybe it's an upside. You might want to help your buddies help defeat the threat at the table. We have Nicol Bolas fans over here. Where's Lord Magicus? They could make a fan club or something. Okay, the Jaded says, by far, Chains of Mephistopheles lets you discard /mill rather than sniping. They reprinted a reserved card in a billion better. Christopher B with Tundra into Meandering River. Tundra, Meandering River. What is it? Is this literally just a land that comes with battlefield tapped? Yeah, it is. Very, very, very fair card. A little too fair. You know, these cards are stupid. Why do they even reprint this thing? It should either, like, surveil, or it should gain a life, or something. I think it should do something. Okay, we got NFL is now with, how about Staff of Ages? Staff of Ages. Improvement over Great Wall. Still, what, these are both bad? No, it's weird. The card needs to get worse, not better. Aphistopheles. So what are these cards? I don't even know the order of these cards. What came out? I think Legends came out first. Staff of Ages came out second. So Great Wall is like creatures with Planeswalk may be blocked as though they did not have this ability. The whole 5 of them. And then Staff of Ages, creatures with any Landwalk ability may be blocked as though they did not have those abilities. Yeah, this is this got power crept. So this one came out first, this one came out second. So this is power creep, not they didn't get worse. They didn't fix it into garbage, is what I'm getting at. Okay, who has no suggestion yet? Who has not got a shot? Islarf. So we got Alenda, the Dusk Rose. Got a balance Alenda for some reason. Oh, did they? And then Alenda, Saint of Dusk. Okay, so Alenda, the Dusk Rose, the 4-mana 1/1 lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Alenda, the Dusk Rose. When Alenda dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Alenda's power. So how different is this card now? Alenda Saint? Saint of Dusk. See if we can find the future Alenda. I can't find this card. Or maybe Scryfall is dying on me. Scryfall, don't die on me. It's happened a few times on this show where Scryfall just goes blank. Just the servers crash, and I'm like, uh-oh! Uh-oh! God, I need you, Scryfall. I need you so badly. Okay, there we go. It's back. We're back and better than ever. 4 mana, 4/4, lifelink hexproof from instance. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, Lenda gets +1/+1 and has menace. How is this? This is not the same card. Dies whenever it dies. These are just two completely different cards, Islar. It's just a different version, that's all. Did they water it down? That's a matter of opinion. This one has hexproof from instance. I don't know about this one. This doesn't have hexproof from anything. It could die to a brisk breeze. Okay, we're going to take a look at more fixed Magic the Gathering cards, but let me tell you where you can buy them from. You can get them from FusionGamingOnline.com. Along with all the... You want Alenda? The new watered down Alendra that has hexproof? You can get it from Magic the Gathering Foundations. Get your singles and sealed product hot off the presses. And don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all your purchases. It also supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online for Magic Online. Your ability to play any deck, any format you want, where it be between Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Pauper, or you can even play Commander and one-on-one Commander. And you can support the channel renting using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_4VU. All right, we need some bad Magic the Gathering cards, people. Bad. Very fixed. Okay, we got Aiden. Oh, sorry. Aiden Mason. Thicket Basilisk into Sylvan Basilisk. This is an old card. How did this get worse? It's a 5 mana 2/4. When it blocks or becomes blocked by a non-wall creature, destroy that creature at end of combat. I forgot that they sort of had that death touch back then. Sylvan Basilisk. When it becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. Is it the same? What's the difference? 5 mana 2/4. 5 mana 2/4. When Thicket Basilisk blocks or becomes blocked, destroy the creature at end of combat. Oh, this one's only when it becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. Almost like as so. But this one, it could destroy anything. Oh, this one. Well, this is non-wall, but no big deal. How many walls are there these days? But the point is, this one could block and basically have death touch. They fixed a revised card for some reason. Why? Can breathe in walls now. Yeah, okay, walls, don't worry. The walls are safe around here. Okay, just a random mage with Primeval Titan into Overlord of the Haunted Woods. Overlord of... I'm just gonna look Haunted Woods. I can't find this card. Okay, so let's look up Overlord of the something. Of the Haunt Woods. Not the Haunted Woods. Oh, you're saying this is a worse Primeval Titan. So this is a 5 mana 6/5. It's got Impending, though. Whenever Overlord of the Haunt Woods enters or attacks, create a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere. That is every basic land type. You know what? I never thought about it like that, but yeah, I guess this could be like, this is a fixed Primeval Titan. I'll have you know, though, this card sees a crap load of play. So it's supposed to be fixed Magic cards are borderline unplayable. This card is super playable. In fact, look, it has like so many copies and they're all expensive. That's how playable it is. I know it sees a lot of play in Pioneer, though. The Puffer Frog. Meat Hook Massacre. Okay, Meat... I don't even know what the second one does. Hook Massacre. Probably because it's so bad. Meat Hook Massacre into Meat Hook Massacre 2. The sequel. Meat Hook Massacre. Oh, it's called 2. Okay. So we've got Meathook Massacre, 2 mana, X, ETB, all creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Maybe borderline broken. Even had to be fixed on Arena. Then we have the Meathook Massacre 2, the sequel. This is quadruple mana. We need to add more mana to this thing, and double X again. When it enters, each player sacrifices X creatures. Ah, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And then whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return that card under your control with a finality counter on it. This seems great. But it just does something completely different. I think the OG is still better and the best. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, they may pay 3 life. If they don't, return that creature under your control with a finality count. What? So I have to... My stuff dies, I gotta pay life so that you don't get it. Very different card, though. Bojack Yellow. Upheaval. Into River's Rebuke. Upheaval. Return all permanents to their owner's hands for 6 mana. What does River's Rebuke does? Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. That's almost better in some ways. Okay, it doesn't bounce the lands, but it also doesn't bounce your stuff either. It's like Cyclonic Rift, isn't it? Return all non-land permanents target player. It's literally Cyclonic Rift Overload for 1 less mana. This is actually a worse Cyclonic Rift. If we wanted to say that, this is actually worse Cyclonic Rift. Easily. Oh no, it's not the worst. Sorry, it's not a worse Cyclonic Rift. I forgot. So like, you don't have any bounce for 2 mana, but also the bounce everything is cheaper on here. So maybe not strictly worse. Senior Bottle and Apocalypse Chime, they're the same card. They're basically the same card. Not strictly worse, not strictly better. Just for different sets. Dinglebag. Why don't I have a super chat to get to? I see you, Alexander. Okay, we're gonna get to Alexander. Souls, Fire, and Blood Feud. I always get to my super chats. Okay, Souls Fire. 3 mana instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. Oops, I'm going backwards. And then Blood Feud, 6 mana sorcery. Target creature fights another target creature. What the hell? Are you kidding me? 6 mana to fight something? But why? This is like, goes in the all-time of worst Magic the Gathering cards of all worst Magic the Gathering cards. We did cancel and counterspell. I mean, this is like cancel the counterspell as far as I'm concerned. Okay, next up, we've got Alexander Swartz with Moat to Teferi's Moat. I think a lot of people liked Teferi's Moat. It is much worse, though. Moat, you don't fly, you don't attack. That's how it is around here. I got my Moat. I got a Moat, everyone. Teferi's, but then there's Teferi's Moat. 5 mana enchantment. As Teferi's Moat comes into play, you have to choose a color, and creatures of the chosen color without flying can't attack you. So we can still fly to Teferi. I don't know if Teferi's afraid of anything. Teferi can just go back in time. Isn't Teferi like the most powerful planeswalker on the face of the earth because he goes through time all the time? Or I don't know how time works in the multiverse. I really have no idea how it works in the lore. Because like at any moment where he's about to die, he can just... I mean, he could just go far into the future. Am I still alive here? Am I still alive here? Does Teferi ever meet himself in the past? I'm just curious how time travel works in Teferi's world. From Teferi's perspective. Is it like, what's it called? What's that movie? Ugh, can't think of that movie's name. Whatever. Time travel movies. Hyperactive Sloth. I play a Dimir discard deck and my opponents like to empty their hand. So I can't make them discard. I use River's Rebuke to put it all back in their hand so I can make them discard it all. That's very evil of you. Very, very evil. Okay, Aspie GG. Literally, Epic Confrontation has fighting and a buff for 2 mana. Epic Confrontation. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, but it's in green. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if it's in red, it has to be super watered down when talking about the last one. Big Mike, I'm waiting for R&D to make a card that changes all card expansion symbols to play to homelands just to receive secret buff to Apocalypse Giant. Back to homelands. We just need, we need like to expand the homelands block, right? It's like we're going back to homelands. Same thing with Ravnica. We keep going back to Ravnica and we keep going to Ravnica, Ixalan, we keep going back to go back to a lot of stuff. Zendikar. Got to go back to homelands. We need to go back home, everyone. Home is where homelands is. Okay, next up. Kano. Expel the Unworthy is a dialed down Swords to Plowshares. Expel the Unworthy. 2 mana with Kicker. Choose target creature with mana value 3 or less. If the spell is kicked, instead choose target creature. Exile the chosen creature, then its controller gains life equal to its mana value. This is super powered down. It's funny, they put this in Modern Horizons 3. Terrible, terrible card. Yeah, we keep going back to Innistrad. How many times have we gone back to Innistrad now? So those are the most popular. We should go back to Homelands. How many of you started playing in Homelands? There's quite a few of you. Maybe not a lot of them. Island Fish Dracanis into Fish Dracanis. It's the same card. Christopher B has the idea. Okay, Diabolic Edict into Imperial Edict. What, a sorcery version? Imperial Edict. So this is target player sacks a creature at instant speed. This is sorcery speed. But which one came first? I actually don't know. Diabolic Edict has been around for, quite some time. Imperial Edict has not been around for quite some time. It's been around since, like, 1999. Here's a question. How many of you know the name of the Homelands plane? Oh, I just thought it was called Homelands. That's why it's called Home. Teferi's like, I don't know where, no, Teferi's not from Homelands, but, like, imagine Teferi said, okay, it's time to go home to Homelands. We need to go home. That's what the story needs to do. They've gone so far from home, we need to go back home now. Okay, Nathan, Grizzlebrand into Villas, Broker of Blood. Villas, Broker of Blood. Is it the same? Oh, yeah, it's similar. Okay, so we have an 8 mana, 8/8 Flying Demon. I want a demon sound effect here. Pay a black. Pay 2 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. So you can do it you can do it the hard way. You gotta pay life. You got just fill your deck up with like Street Wraiths, Phyrexian spells. Wow, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, Phyrexian mana plus this card. Holy smokes. Looks good. Urgoth? What is this? Urgoth? What's Urgoth? There's no such thing as Urgoth. Isn't Culling the Weak just like a more broken card? Culling the Weak. Or I should say, like, Culling the Weak, it's not Dark Ritual, but it's not bad. A lot of people like playing this card. Sack a creature to get quadruple black to your mana pool. Super hyped played card. Okay, hold on. Maybe Bojack Yellow knows a crappier version. Priest of Gix, if you squint hard enough. That's what the show is all about. It's the same card if you squint hard enough. 3 mana for a 2/1. There you go. When it enters the battlefield, add 3 black mana to your mana pool. We're gonna squint really hard. Yeah, that's a Dark Ritual. Play several creatures. It reminds me of oh, this is from Urza Saga. What is that red-green creature? I can't remember. It's the 2/2 that's a hybrid of Gruul. And when it enters the battlefield, you get red-green to your mana pool. Okay, Lesthian with Dig Through Time and Drawn from Dreams. Drawn from Dreams. Funnily enough, reducing the mana value made it worse. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so this came out in Core Set 2020. Let's look at Dig Through Time. Just in case people forgot what this card does. 8 mana. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. But you can delve, so you can effectively pay 2 mana for this card at instant speed. But you know what killed this card? It's sorcery. If it was instant speed at 4 mana, it would see great play. So look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I think it's the sorcery speed that just made this, like, it killed it. Just killed it. Yeah, Burning Tree Emissary is the card I was thinking of. I can't remember card names anymore. Like, my brain is overloaded. It's like, there's so many cards coming out, so many cards. So I learn a new card name, and then an old card name is just gone from memory. My brain has reached capacity. Ooh, David Sampson. The Lost Jite. And also Lost Hype. I remember... Doesn't anyone remember... Wow, this card has quite a price tag on it. I remember so many people are so hyped for this card. Does it see any play? Can I put this in... Ooh, is this standard playable? Maybe I can put this in my Merfolk deck. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage, put a charge counter on Lost Jite. I can untap a land. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. This is terrible. This is so bad. This is not... This has no similarity to Umezawa's Jite at all. This card just made a tier 0 deck in Arena. Did it? Okay, maybe we shouldn't speak so badly about Lost Jite all of a sudden. Anyway, I think it's crap. Can I put this anywhere else? Can I put this in my Pioneer deck? Like, I forgot this card exists. Untap target land. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. That's good. It's so cheap. I'm going to think. I'm going to ponder if that should go in my Pioneer Merfolk deck. Haze Frog. Haze Frog is literally a better version. You're looking at backwards. The better card had to come first. Hold on, what's Haze Frog? I think it's just Fog, right? Haze Frog. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was the 1 mana one. Okay, forget it. This might be a lot worse. 5 mana for a 2/1 flash. Enters the battlefield, prevent all combat damage that other creatures would be dealt this turn. You know what? I'll accept this one. I don't know why you would ever want to play this as a Fog effect. Okay, Fog is 1. No, I thought you were talking about the 1 mana 1/1. I thought you were talking about Spore Frog. I was thinking of Spore Frog, yeah. Spore Frog is the strictly better version. This doesn't count. That Psychic Frog is broken. That was definitely not a fit. That was not a... That got fixed into busted. That was power creep. You see, this show is about anti-power creep. We going backwards, not forwards. Well, someone knows the plane to homelands, Olgortha. But did you have to Google it? That's the real question around here. Okay, Magus of the Scroll or Magus... Okay, let's look at Magus of the Scroll. That's a curse scroll, right? 1 mana 1/1. Pay 3, tap, name a card. Reveal a card at random from your hand. If it's a name card, Magus of the Scroll deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Literal trash. It's funny, the Maguses are so bad. I don't even know all the Maguses. Even if you put a gun to my head and force me to name 5 Maguses. I wouldn't know. Okay, Astro, fresh out of Foundations. Tragic Slip into Tragic Slip. Great card. Tragic Banshee? Tragic Banshee. If we haven't done it already. No, not at all. Okay, so Tragic Slip is 1 mana. Target creature gets -1/-1. But then if you have Morbid, so if a creature died, you have -13/-13. I think this is a fantastic card. Then Tragic Banshee. 5 mana for a 5/3. Oh, it's got the same thing, but it's not even instant. This is sorcery speed. The Tragic Banshee. They be screaming. Creature enters the battlefield. I guess if someone dies, it's like, oh my god! Otherwise, not yelling nearly as high. Technically, Wrath of God and Day of Judgment. Technically true, yeah. Day of Judgment. Wrath of God says you can regenerate. Day of Judgment says, no, you can regenerate around here. What else do we have here? Turat with Skull Clamp and... Okay, Skull Clamp. Hopefully everyone knows this one. And then Transmogrant Crown. Okay, Skull Clamp, 1 mana. Equip creature gets +1/-1. But if it dies, you draw 2 cards. We've got the Crown here. 2 mana. Equip creature gets +2/+0. We have equipped creature dies, draw a card. Okay, that is super fixed. Super fixed that it's worthless. It's not 1 mana. Does not reduce your creature's toughness. And you only draw 1 card. You know, they probably could have had the draw 2 card clause on this thing, and it probably wasn't going to be a problem. The whole thing about Skull Clamp is it shrank the creature, so you could intentionally kill the creature to draw the cards. Skull Clamp, one of the worst last-minute changes of all time. There's also a Magus of the Moat. Magus of the Moat. Benjamin Berkeley, huge fan of the Maguses. 4 mana, 0/3. Creatures out flying can't attack. I don't have any power because I don't intend on attacking either. Technically, I shouldn't. Imagine they gave some power to Magus of the Moat. Just in case in the future, you know, you dress down the damn thing. Bojack Yellow. Show and tell into Hunted Wumpus. In some capacity. Wumpus is 1 more mana. And always gets a 6/6 instead of Omniscience or whatever. I don't know if this is the same card. Now, this is a card where, you know, if you squint hard enough, maybe it's the same thing. So remember, we crashing? What's with Scryfall today? Everyone's looking stuff up on Scryfall. Web server is returning an unknown error. Yeah, the error is you're not working. 4 mana. Okay, so show and tell, pay 3, put a... It's a very, like, I think it's creature, artifact, or land into play, or enchantment. And then Hunted Wumpus. When it enters the battlefield, each other player may put a creature card from their hand onto the battlefield. This isn't... whatever. I'll let it slide. It's very, very far from being the same damn thing. Ajani, Nikachu Priya to Squire, too obvious. Ajani, Nikachu Pariah. What? Squire? Oh, you're talking about this thing. Oh, well, that doesn't count because Squire came out first. Squire came out first. Demonic Tutor to Demonic Council. Demonic Council. What's this? 2 mana sorcery. Search your library for a demon card. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Delirium. If there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead, search your library for any card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. I think this is great design. See, this is how you should fix cards. Like, it's great for a demon deck. If you're a demon deck, okay, it's 2 mana search for a demon. How bad could that be? Most of them are like 8 mana anyway. This is how you fix Magic the Gathering cards. Wizards doesn't get that, though. They're just too scared. They're like, oh, this might not see any play. So let's just make sure everyone can see play with this card. Yes, everybody. Most mana dorks, Birds of Paradise. I'll give you a good one. Birds of Paradise into Utopia Tree. So this was the fixed version of like Birds of Paradise at the time. It did see a lot of play at the time. I don't know, maybe it still sees play in pre-modern. I'm not really super familiar with the metagame. I was like, actually, why would they play this? They could play Birds of Paradise. 2 mana, 0/2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It is just strictly worse Birds of Paradise. Strictly worse. 1 mana. Oh, I mean, I guess you get the extra toughness if that matters. You can block Raging Goblin or something, I suppose. Visions of Beyond? Visions of Beyond is a fixed version of... I guess you mean Ancestral Recall? Oh, yeah, actually, this is true. Now, this actually does see some play, though, especially in the mill decks. Mill decks love this card. Because it's a blue, draw a card, and if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3 cards instead. And your mill deck. Someone's going to have 20 cards. Some opponent... Is it a player or opponent? If graveyard... No, it's anybody. It could be you! You could be the person with 20 cards in your graveyard. Utopia Tree doesn't have Defender, so it can attack. That's funny. Well, same with Birds of Paradise. Birds of Paradise can attack too. Jacob Thune with Icy Manipulator into Kelpie Guide. Oops. I don't even think this card's very good in the first place. Did they make a worse version? Kelpie Guide, 2/2. Yeah, untap another target permanent you control or tap target permanent. Activate only if you control... Only if you control 8 or more lands? Oh, no. And that's going to be our Titanic sound effect card of the day. You really need to balance this card out for being a 3-mana 2/2. Because that way it might get out of control. Tapping down people's stuff. Birds of Paradise is flying, so it's a better blocker and better attacker. Natural evasion. Hey, look, I've died many a times to an exalted Birds of Paradise, all right? I'm not ashamed. I've been there. Things happen. Things happen on the battlefield. Hyperactive Sloth with Magus of the Scroll. This is a 1-mana 1/1. Oh, no, we did this one. Yeah, we just did this one. Joseph Johnson, Fact or Fiction into Fortune's Favor. So Fact or Fiction is the 4-mana instant. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, and your opponent will put it into 2 piles, and you get to choose which one goes into your hand. The other one goes into the graveyard. Fortune's Favor is a 4-mana instant. Target opponent looks at the top four cards, so not 5, of your library. Then they separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I'm gonna put you to the test. It's like you have way less power because you have way less information, and also you're looking at less cards too. Time Twister into Days Undoing. This is a card people are super hyped about. It's like, you know what? Honestly, I think Time Twister is grossly overrated. I think that's the problem. So, like, when Days Undoing was released, or, like, spoiled, people were like, oh my god, it's broken! Oh! It's gonna change the world! It's gonna get banned! Blue 2 generic sorcery. Each player shuffles their hand, graveyard into their library, then draws 7 cards. If it's your turn, end the turn. I think the problem is, though, Time Twister is not that good. Like, I know it's a reserve list card. It's banned in Legacy. Honestly, I don't even know if it's banned. Like, how would this break the game? We need to see Time Twister. Yeah, there we go. Let's see an unlimited Time Twister. I'm wondering if they unbanned this. Set Time Twister aside. Shuffle your hand, library, and graveyard together into a new pile. Like, honestly, let's say they unban this in Legacy. Would that be a big deal? Like, how much different is this from Wheel of Fortune? I don't see a big difference. Oh, no, but Wheel of Fortune is banned in Legacy, isn't it? Hold on. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm going to take some words back. No, sorry. This is banned in Legacy. For a second, I thought Wheel of Fortune was legal. It's not. It's banned. Okay, so this also should be banned in Legacy for the same reason. But in any case, like, it's perfectly fine in Commander because it is not super insane. I take my words back. Don't we have Windfall? Well, Windfall is strictly worse, by all degrees. But anyway, this card came out, and you know what? Ending your turn actually changes a whole lot. So I guess the deal is you have to be able to play on your opponent's turn really well. I never got that too. Maybe there's some combo I don't know. No, okay, so I forgot. I thought for some reason I thought Wheel of Fortune was legal in Legacy. It's just not. So if that's not legal, then Time Twister can't be legal in Legacy. But all things considered, Wheel of Fortune not super broken in Commander, and same thing with Time Twister. Hence why it's legal. Anyway, this card did nothing. It's called Power 9 for a reason. Well, do you know what? If we reevaluated the Power 9, I think Time Twister would get bumped for Soul Ring at this point. Ooh, Lestian with Birthing Pod into Prime Speaker Vanifar. And actually, they made a lot of these cards. So we got Birthing Pod, pay 2 mana, tap, sack a creature, search your library for a creature card equal to the same converted mana cost +1 of the creature sacrificed. Same thing with Prime Speaker Vanifar, but this is 4 mana for a 2/4 creature. Tap, sack another creature, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield. But there was also there was a really crappy one. There was an artifact that did this as well. I don't remember what it's called though. Does anyone didn't get a card yet? No one got a suggestion? Underground Sea into River Delta. Puffer Frog. Gifts ungiven into threats undetected. Gifts ungiven and then threats undetected. 3 mana in green. Sorcery. Search your library for up to 4 creature cards with different powers and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest into your hand. Do you know what this actually feels like? This feels more like, I see where you're getting at, but I actually think this is more intuition-like. It was like the opposite. So in intuition, you have to search your library for 3. No, I guess it's not 3. You get to choose any 3 cards. Usually people got the same card to break it, at least in one-on-one Magic. But Threats Undetected is like it's not instant speed, it's sorcery, but I think it gives very similar vibes to intuition. So it's more of a fixed intuition in my mind. Soul Ring would have been power 10, I'm sure, if it had been a rare and not reprinted and revised. I guess so. Oh, is Evolving Door what I was thinking? Evolving Door. No, that's not the card either. Well, this is probably similar. They keep fixing Birthing Pod, and the problem is, like, there's only one Birthing Pod. And Birthing Pod is Birthing Pod for a reason. All the other future pod cards are garbage. This is a 3-mana artifact. Pay 1, tap, sack a creature. Count the colors of the sacrificed creature. Then search your library for a creature card that's exactly that many colors +1. Exile that card, then shuffle. You may cast the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. Triox didn't get one yet. Well, you got it. Okay, tell me what it is. You gotta say, I didn't get one yet, and here's my suggestion. Okay, Navindrel's Disc. Oh, we did, the problem is we did that one. We did Magus of the Disc. That's the problem. We did that one already. Sean, Cabal Coffers into, Magus of the Coffers. This is like, this is a shout out to the Magus cards show. 5 mana for a 4/4. Pay 2, tap, add black to your mana pool for each swamp you control. Strictly, I think, just stone cold unplayable. Only for the jank decks. Turiat, Snapcaster Mage to Halo Forager. 3 mana, 3/1. When it enters the battlefield, you can pay X mana. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard, without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. I actually like the templating for this. Usually they're like, you can cast this card and you can spend mana of any color to cast that card. Instead, they're like, okay, you just pay X mana up front, and then you can cast any card with the same mana cost as X. It's actually a very elegantly named card. But we didn't do Monologue Tax and Smothering Tide. Okay, hold on. What's Monologue Tax? Monologue Tax. This is Smothering. Is it Tide or Tithe? Smothering Tithe? Okay, Smothering Tithe. Broken card. Then Monologue Tax. Oh, this one came out later. 3 mana. Also, someone's spewing out a bunch of money. This person's really cashing out. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you create a treasure token. Ah, yes. Probably people still play that card though. Although it's a great suggestion. Late sucks. Yeah, well, the funny thing, this is in the morning, Triox. We're doing this one in the morning. What do we got here? Temporal Trespass and most extra turn spells versus Time Walk. Yeah, but you got to give me like something close to actual Time Walk. Temporal Trespass is like 1 billion mana. Mind Rot compared to him to Turok? Which one came out first? Maybe Mind Rot came out later. When did Mind Rot come out? 2015. It's an old card. 1997. Him to Turok. This came out 1998. Where's the first one? No, 1994. Okay, Him to Turok did come out first. Okay, Mind Rot is a strictly worse card here. It's literally 11 p.m. here. So some of you, so when I do my like lunchtime show, it's actually in the morning for you. Yeah, Temporal Trespass does see it play as a 1 of in Phoenix, but to be honest, it's very that's the most it sees play. Okay, Triox with Brute, Force, and Infuriate. Infuriate. Yes, I did mean Infuriate. It's funny, I think we saw Infuriate on the show. So this is a red instant. Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. This is instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. They literally made it worse. Hold on, which one came out first? This came out at almost the exact same time. Of course, that 2020. Oh, this one came out in Planar Chaos. Yep, that definitely qualifies. Okay, that's it. That's gonna be it for the show today. I gotta pack my bags. I got a championship to win. I don't feel good about my chances, but you know what? There's always a chance. Just like there's always another show every single weekday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, if you're a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. Thanks to all the super chatters. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. People like Bryce, Sebastian, Demanger, Kano, Christopher B., Benjamin Berkeley, Cerise. We got Steve Cooper. Kano. Tell me how much you guys miss the morning shows. Steve Cooper, Bryce, Benjamin Berkeley. We got F-Civ, Erland, got him. Maybe I should do a poll to see what time is best for everybody. Dinglebag, Old Boy, David Sampson, Hexanort, Tiger, Toads, Hugh. Thank you so much, everyone. And as usual, my coffee crew, keep bringing up them coffees. We're going to keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.